Welcome to this week's Movie Math, where Hollywood scratched their heads over the soft returns for the holiday weekend box office, down 21% from last year. Was it Black Friday or the new Black Thursday night when stores open on Thanksgiving? Oh, what could it be, they wondered, unwilling to consider that it was actually the two turkeys they themselves released in theaters. Yes, Penguins of Madagascar, and especially Horrible Bosses 2, didn't really whet anyone's appetite. And in a surprising move previously unheard of, moviegoers simply decided not to go to the movies. See, in the past, Hollywood could rely on audiences breaking down and just picking the best of the worst. But with huge improvements in the quality of television, video games, and streaming, clearly we've become less reliant on the silver screen for a good time. So just as we vote for politicians and laws, we suddenly find ourselves voting for movies. And not just in terms of quality. Over the weekend, there were several dust-ups over diversity in movies. Hot off of Ridley Scott telling Variety that investors wouldn't be interested in a movie starring Mohammed so-and-so, the head of Fox News Corp, which is distributing Scott's Exodus, took to Twitter to ask, "Since when are Egyptians not white?" He got plenty of colorful answers to his question and press. Boy, Scott and Murdoch really are testing the old saying, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Then after the Star Wars Episode 7 trailer debuted, apparently there was a lot of anger online that the first image was of a black man. That black man, John Boyega, took to Instagram to thank many for their support and to tell everyone else, get used to it. And of course, earlier in the week, there had been a lot of frustration that the stunning new trailer for Warner Bros. Pan was marred by Rooney Mara as Tiger Lily. But internet chatter is easy to write off, while box office numbers are not. So just as moviegoers are sending Hollywood a clear message about quality, well, they send one about diversity as well, supporting Star Wars while boycotting Exodus and Pan. Oh, but wait! Hollywood still thinks their numbers are down this year because of shopping. Even though Black Friday and even Black Thursday night have been around in full for at least a decade. And last year, Hollywood was still able to set two records at once with both Catching Fire and Frozen, two movies that pretty much everybody loved. So, how did the movies actually do? Well, Lionsgate was able to give thanks that Mockingjay Part 1, despite still trailing Catching Fire, was able to hold on to the #1 spot in its second weekend, as well as post the record for the third biggest haul ever for a Thanksgiving 5-day weekend. More good news is that Mockingjay has already powered past the double-century mark stateside and is at almost $500 million worldwide in 2 weeks. Maybe it still might join the billion-dollar club, even without China. And with more action, and as the final entry, perhaps Mockingjay Part 2 will be able to rebound and become the strongest box office performer in the franchise, despite this small setback. Then Jeffrey Katzenberg's worst fears came true, as Penguins of Madagascar opened on par with his other recent duds, Turbo and Rise of the Guardians. Even Mr. Peabody and Sherman opened bigger. Making matters even worse, the last two Madagascar movies opened 3 times bigger, with around $60 million. Should he not have blinked and opened home after all? Fight diversity with diversity? After all, Disney's Big Hero 6, featuring the Mouse House's most diverse cast ever, fell under 10% in its 4th week, clearly eating up some of Penguin's audience. As we've been discussing, Katzenberg is desperately looking for someone to acquire DreamWorks Animation so it can go private again. But what will this debut do to the studio's already beleaguered stock? And if you think Big Hero 6's hold is impressive, Interstellar actually went up. Sure, it was just 3%, but every bit helps as Nolan's sci-fi opus struggles to match his Batman movies and Inception. However, unless Interstellar catches on like wildfire in Japan, pretty much the only big country it has left, it doesn't have much left in the tank. Then in 5th place, Horrible Bosses 2 debuted with just about half the opening haul of the first flick. Perhaps their combined forces are no longer greater than their individual stock, as Horrible Bosses 2 ended up performing on par with your standard Jason Bateman, Jason Sudeikis, and Jennifer Aniston comedies. Perhaps they can blame it all on Chris Pine? Then in the specialty market, while Birdman continued to hold strong at the bottom of the top 10, even with dropping about 150 theaters, The Theory of Everything surged past it as it added over 600 more theaters, clearly to meet demand. But it looks like the Stephen Hawking bio isn't the only audience favorite when it comes to Oscar contenders. The Imitation Game, which has been struggling for recognition from the Hollywood Awards circuit, opened in just 4 theaters and delivered the second best per theater average of the year after the Grand Budapest Hotel. That's fantastic news for star Benedict Cumberbatch and producer Harvey Weinstein, giving them the ammo they desperately need as they continue to campaign for the Oscars. As for this coming weekend, Fox releases The Pyramid in just 550 theaters, while Reese Witherspoon's Wild opens in limited release in the hopes of using some box office headlines to improve its own Oscar hopes, which so far aren't so good. And that's the weekend box office. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some movie math. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope we'll go beyond the trailer for these other top movies.